Hey there, folks. It's me, Chris, with the Gig Man's Life. Yeah, baby, it's a Gig Man's Life indeed. And of course, if you wouldn't mind, please hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. It would really help out the channel to build up a following, because that's where monetization gets involved. And of course, if you want to know about the latest videos, just check up on the channel by 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. There's always going to be a fresh new video out here talking about the gig life, talking about things that are very serious issues that are happening out here, especially when anybody gets to saying a Florida man. Yeah, once you get saying that, that's all you have to say for a good story. This is one that gives me about the dangers about doing rideshare, and especially with what I might think is a cash trip, because Uber is now going, oh, we will accept cash for rides in certain markets. Do you want to opt in? No. This is a case where I don't know whether or not he was doing it. It would be a really good question to find out from the driver. But Mr. Rosado here got into the dispute with the driver about a tip, and this is how I think that it was a cash trip. I would not wait 20 to 30 minutes for somebody at a Denny's. I just wouldn't. My 5, 10, 7 rule would have kicked up, and I would have been gone. And what is this rule? The 5, 10, 7 rule is to inform the passenger, if I am going to wait, 5 minutes is free of waiting at any stop, but that's what they program into the stop as a charge. Past that, it gets expensive, and if it hits 10 minutes, it might be cheaper for you to order another Uber instead of having me wait any longer, because they will start charging a lot more for the wait time. So if you're going to be here long, maybe you want to go and just end the trip now and get out. And that's why I will not accept cash, because if I'm considering that I'm there, they don't come back in 7 minutes, I'm planning my exit. Because usually that wait and stuff like that could end up getting me losing out on a higher gig, because I had to wait that long to get back into circulation. So if it's going to make me more money to dump the rest of the ride, of course I'm going to do it. Anybody should be thinking about this at that moment, because if you're going to get into the dispute with the passenger about a tip for the stop, that's where still it screams to me that they were accepting cash. And of course, the rider, Rosado, after spitting on the driver, insulting the driver, getting out, pulls the gun out of his bag and puts about 7 shots into the car. Now, it does sound a little bit, but he's now facing discharging a weapon at an occupied vehicle, firing a firearm within the city or in public, and the best one of all is possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This 21-year-old has already done time in jail on felony charges. So we don't know what that is. But when you take a look at this gentleman, he's got that Tony Montana look. It is Florida. It's around Epcot where he got picked up. So I don't think he was inside the park per se. He might have been in the other street areas that Disney has. So it's all their shops that get cash around their place. Yes, that's why they have those little boulevards and other bullshitters. So if you can't buy the ticket, you can certainly buy the merch and get your Disney Yin Yang Mickey Mouse hat. I had one, so I had to try to throw that one in. But yes, so going to a Denny's at about 10 o'clock at night from that area, I'm not knowing about the Denny's. Maybe he was getting food. Maybe he was paying off somebody. You never know. This is one of those places where I don't know the scene, but you're bringing a gun to whatever. So, or maybe he purchased the gun there. That could have been a fucking entertaining moment, but we still don't know what happened to that. But they got into an argument about what he was getting paid, and that's just wrong. I will tell you, you can have a brief discussion and everything else. If you're still on the book, then you're still going to get paid. I wouldn't have gone any further. I would have just dropped off the gentleman, said, you can have yourself a nice night, thank you very much, and go. Maybe the individual might have been hyped up. He definitely looks like this wasn't his first rodeo. A little indignant there, but he didn't go and expect that he was going to be arrested for what he did. And of course, nothing tells that this is one of those people who believes I am an OG gangster when his username was Mr. OG. So, yeah, if you're not thinking that he isn't watching Scarface, idolizing Al Pacino's character, just look at it. Please, look at the picture. He looks like he was cleaned up. All you have to do is get it a little bit shaggier, like he was fresh off the boat. This is when, he got to the gangsta stage. So, yeah, when it comes down to this, folks, if you're going to go and do the hustle, it's one, I don't try to stay out that late at night. I am not going to accept cash trips because that does place a target on you and places you in situations about arguing how much is owed. It's a lot easier. And then most likely you wouldn't end up with this passenger because with declining the cash, I'm pretty much sure that you wouldn't have had the issue if he wasn't able to pay with a card. You know, it's just a thought here, but if that's the case, not accepting cash for these trips could prevent serious issues. He has definitely made it clear that he wanted to go back to jail because he was stupid enough to do shit. He's, I think, what is it? Down at the bottom they said, affidavit, Mr. OG, affidavit states, investigators later linked, Koto was booked into Osala County Jail. A judge set his bond for around 22. There's no further. Hello, digital producer of clickorlando.com. Yeah, I am just doing what I'm doing. So I do like Haley Kumis's report. It was very clear. Some things that people can go and ask. If there was cash involved, if she was to ever go and ask that question of the passenger, was there cash involved? Were you doing a cash ride? Because I really want to know that for my own sanity about making sure I'm not taking the cash rides, because this is situations that Uber puts us in. And if I'm going to suddenly get into an argument about getting the money, that's another reason why I don't want to deal with a cash ride. You put us into those situations. And of course, I would definitely state to a passenger my 5-10-7 rule, that if you're having me stop at a location, the first 5 minutes are included in the stop. But after that, when 10 minutes hit, it might be a lot cheaper for you because of surge pricing and everything else for you to get another Uber than pay for the waiting time. And that you might save a lot more on this trip by just making it to here and getting another Uber. This can be a lot cheaper that way. And I know people are going like, whoa, wait a minute. You're supposed to make as much money as possible. You're stopping at a Denny's at 10 and 11 o'clock at night for all these issues to go on. This guy's going to be sitting in there. You don't know how long. And you're not telling the person that, hey, look. So this is why I suspect it's cash. Because without cash, I would have been gone 10 minutes and you are somebody else's problem. And I would have made it clear to the person. So if they wanted to try saying something, and I have cameras, that, oh, and then I'm also recording my trips. That's another thing, because some people don't want to be recorded for some fucked up reason. Mainly because they might get busted, or they are thinking of doing something and they have gotten busted. It's all about personal security here, folks. Um, Cameras only prevent so much crime. They always just show the evidence to the court of what the perpetrator did. So, with that, I hope you understand where this is a very dangerous situation that we put ourselves in every day to transport others. Some simple things, if you don't want to deal with this shit, is not be out there that late at night, not picking up from certain areas. You have to accept that your acceptance rate will go down. You have 3 months to bring it up, and when you're not putting yourself into a position where you have to get into a discussion about your tip for waiting time, that's something where you just can't be playing games with people. You don't know what you're dealing with. So if you don't want to deal with that type of problem, don't take the cash trips. Just don't. It makes it a lot easier for everybody because you're not having a person waving that cash in front of you and then all of a sudden, nope. Because I just have still the other feeling he was going and dropping money. I wouldn't be too surprised on it that maybe with the look of him going to a certain location like Denny's where people are in and out of the parking lot constantly, he might have worked there on top of it, or is on the books there, possibly, because you do have to have some type of job to explain the profits from illegal endeavors. Not saying that I have ever done those type of things. I certainly have never been convicted. But that's neither here nor there. And always, this is just my opinion, not legal advice, not career advice. Just thoughts about how to deal with these things. And always, this is not training we get in matters of dealing with things, and they throw out policies like, oh, we can accept cash. A little training about how to accept cash would be a good idea. Training is a little bit more than just film strips. Quantified training would help out a lot more. But of course, folks, I'm sorry, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. This is the end of the video. I thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the time that you spend to go and watch these videos, and I hope that you have a stellar day, the day that you should have wished upon others should happen to you. So just be safe out there, and thank you again for watching this video.